we are back to talk about more movies.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. I know we've been talking
Definitely.
about... Sorry, I know we've been talking about the DCEU films, and there's still more episodes to come out. But
now we're going back to the MCU.
Yeah, now
Something way better.
Yes, I will wholeheartedly agree with that. And we haven't talked about any MCU films. It's been a while. I think our last couple of MCU-related reviews came out, I think, around Christmas time last year.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. So it's been a little while, but we're back talking about another MCU movie. And if you haven't already guessed, it's not only the biggest movie of 2019, it's also probably the biggest movie of all time. And that is the spectacle that is Avengers Endgame.
Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. I like this one.
Okay. Wow. I thought Infinity War was a intimidating review to do.
Yeah.
Right. So Infinity War ended with this massive cliffhanger. Everyone got dusted. It was, Thanos actually enacted his plan. And in the before the end of the movie, you hear Doctor Strange say, "We're in the Endgame now."
Oh, yeah.
Now, at that time, I didn't think Endgame would actually be the movie's title.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really happy it is, because I know some people were guessing, oh, it's a different title, it's not going to be Endgame, that's too obvious. And the Russos said, no, it's Endgame.
Yeah.
That was a big reveal, I remember earlier this year. And another big reveal was the runtime of this movie.
Yeah.
It was speculated, but it wasn't confirmed until only a couple of days before the movie came out. I'm going to let you tell the viewers, who they probably already know, how long this movie is.
Believe, if I'm correct, it was 180 minutes or more. 181.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours and 1 minute. Oh my god, it's long. I think Infinity War was only about 2.5, 2 hours 45. And that flew by. That was such a fast-paced movie. So, Endgame's a little bit of a different animal when it comes to tone and comes to pacing.
Definitely.
It's longer. It's broken up into 3 different acts for sure. The Avengers are basically having to deal with the aftermath of Thanos and the snap. Half the universe is gone.
Yep.
And now they're just for the first third of this movie, it's really depressing.
Yeah.
But I think we needed that, because we needed to latch onto the characters and see the struggle they had for 5 years.
Yeah.
Which I didn't expect. That 5-year card at the beginning was like, what? So that's another thing that this movie did incredibly well. It subverted expectations. It was like, you think it's going one way, and it was like, nope, we're doing this.
Nope.
So, and they obviously, towards the beginning of the first third, they confront Thanos. He's destroyed the stones. He's used the stones to destroy the stones. You're just like, what? And he is then killed by Thor.
Yep.
And then the 5 years comes up, and then we see the Avengers basically dealing with this world now where it's just this bleak and...
Basically grief.
Yeah, this grief and this bleak and dark world where half of the population is just gone.
Yep.
And it's just really somber. It's probably the most serious MCU movie as well as Avengers movie there has been.
Yeah.
It's so, I don't want to say it's depressing, but it's it's really somber, and there's not much joy.
Nah.
I mean, they still find humor in the movie, and the movie's packed full of humor, but in the first act, I feel like it's just like, it's really laying it on thick with how bad their situation is.
Definitely.
So, that's kind of, I guess that's kind of the plot and the story of them. They have to figure out how to try to save what Thanos, got rid of.
Yeah.
Essentially. And they kept it really under wraps in the marketing, which was great. Trailers were great, didn't give too much away. Second act is the time heist, where they go back in time to all of the previous, well, not all, but some of the previous movies, some of the big ones. And so I had a blast with this act, because I know there's speculation about, they're going to use time travel, because there were shots that showed certain characters with other certain characters in shots from previous movies. I was like, they weren't there before. So I had a blast with that. And then, of course, the third act, which is the epic finale, and the final hour of the movie is just like this elongated, like, I don't even know, like comic book fans' wet dream.
Yeah, basically like some comic book battle with everybody colliding
who
and
is
fighting.
Just every single character that you could think of is just boom, they're all right there. Which was great, because it was a conclusion that really lived up to that cliffhanger at the end of Infinity War. It was like, oh yeah, we're doing this is happening. And it's done so well. I mean, the minute that Thanos completely destroyed the Avengers facility, he just like opened fire.
Yeah.
He just obliterated the damn thing. I was like, wow. So, those are the three acts of the movie. You've got the aftermath of the snap, you've got the time heist, and then you've got the epic final conclusion to 22 films in the MCU. So and somehow this movie, in my opinion, especially the last act, lived up to all of my expectations. They shattered my expectations, and I left this movie the first and second time in the theaters just chills, like absolute chills. I didn't even know how to feel.
Yeah.
The end of Infinity War, I left the theater being like, I was like speechless, but at the end of this one, I was just kind of like in awe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know what thought is right now. That's overdoing it a little bit, but again, like, I left this movie pretty much on cloud 9.
Alrighty.
Because I've never seen a movie that's been so satisfying for me. Again, I know you feel a little bit different.
Yeah. Mostly with the ending.
Yes, I know. Well, specifically, talk about the ending before we get into cast.
So basically, the ending what I didn't like was that it was only Iron Man dying.
And Black Widow.
Yeah, and Black Widow, because, see, for me, it's like Hawkeye wasn't even in Infinity War. Endgame could have been his time to redeem himself.
Yeah, I know. You were never a big fan of Hawkeye either. I always liked him more than you did, I think.
Yeah, I kind of like Black Widow more.
Oh, I think I like her more too, but I don't like. I really like Hawkeye's character. I think he kind of got shortchanged in some of the earlier MCU movies. He and she are both just people. They just are very highly trained in their skill sets.
Yeah, but I felt like Endgame would have been Hawkeye's time to redeem himself by sacrificing himself.
Yeah,
Like,
okay, I get that.
Black Widow didn't really need to.
No,
honestly.
No, but the other part of that was that he had a family that he would be losing, and she didn't.
And I also felt like nor did Iron Man, honestly.
What about Iron Man?
Like, he didn't need to sacrifice himself just to save the world.
But it was kind of inevitable, considering that as the movies went on, you saw that his sacrifice for others was one of his biggest defining traits.
Yeah.
So it was inevitable. I mean, a lot of fans, I don't know about you, but a lot of fans, myself included, thought, oh, Cap and Iron Man are definitely going to die. Like, the biggest players, we thought even Thor might die, but then we were like, I don't know. But they retired Cap, which was great, and they didn't kill him, but they retired his character. Iron Man died, but he died in literally the perfect way, in my opinion. I mean, he said the line at the end of the first Iron Man that basically kicked off the entire MCU, and it just feels so fitting that the way that it started is the way that it ended, in a sense.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about it. There are other people that agree more so with you than me, but
I will admit I did like what they did with Captain America.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Cap was kind of shortchanged in Infinity War. He was kind of
Short change.
he was kind of pushed to the background. He didn't have a whole lot to do in Infinity War. He wasn't one of the main focuses. He was, but he didn't get that many lines of dialogue. He was just kind of in a lot of action.
I mean, I thought he had a lot to do.
Well, with this being an Endgame, he's literally in the entire movie. Like for
Yeah.
Infinity War, I feel like a third or a chunk of Infinity War was dedicated to him and his team. But in Endgame, it's like, oh, he's front and center,
Yeah.
as he should have been in like like the other previous Avengers movies. That's how I feel. It's fine. I just feel like some characters, I won't use the word again. Some characters were sidestepped and kind of put into the background for an Infinity War, and they were still in it, but they were kind of second thoughts.
Yeah.
And then in Endgame, I just feel like those second thought characters were like, oh, brought to the front of the movie, and I was just like, I like that. So, I mean, you look at the poster, or sorry, the cover for Endgame, and a good portion of these characters, specifically, well, Captain Marvel, was not on the poster or cover for Infinity War. Granted, there were more people on the Infinity War cover, but like Ant-Man and Hawkeye and Captain Marvel, that's three right there.
I don't think Ant-Man was in Infinity War.
That's my point, yeah. So, characters that weren't in Infinity War end up being in Endgame, and that brings us to the cast, because I've been wanting to get to it. So, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I mean, is there anything left to say?
Probably not.
He's one of the best. I mean, he's just one of the best superhero characters we've ever gotten. I think the Academy will probably overlook it, but he should be nominated for an Oscar. He's so good.
I mean, if Black Panther won Oscars, Endgame should too.
And and I like Black Panther. I think it's a very good film, but do I
I
think
did
it's a
too,
better
but it's
film?
not that great.
It's not. I think it's a little overhyped. I'm excited for Black Panther too, but Endgame is just on an entirely different level than Black Panther ever could be.
Yeah.
And if Black Panther can win, what was it, 3 awards?
Yeah.
Or 3 Oscars? Then Endgame absolutely can. Infinity War, I think, won for special effects, or did it get nominated only?
It got nominated.
Oh, that's right, it didn't even win. If Endgame
Should
doesn't
have got
at least-
nominated for Best Picture.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But superhero movies, the genre, Oscars don't really do that.
No.
Maybe they'll surprise us and he'll be nominated, and Endgame might even be nominated.
Yeah.
That would be great. That'd be awesome. We'll see Oscars 2020. But anyway, Robert Downey Jr., fantastic. His most emotional performance in this movie. He was great in Infinity War too. But the fact that we get to see him with his family and that he actually created a life for himself, totally different, took me off guard. He has a daughter now. He's married to Pepper.
Yeah.
He lived a happy life for 5 years. A happy enough life anyway. And I just think he was phenomenal in this movie. Chris Evans, Captain America.
Yeah.
Also, great character. One of my favorites of the entire MCU. After Captain America Winter Soldier, I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so good, and he's such a great character to latch onto, and to be the leader of the Avengers. I mean, obviously, he wasn't really the leader in the first
No,
Avengers.
that was Iron Man.
Right. But slowly it was Cap. Not really anything else that needs to be said there. I'm kind of blowing through these pretty fast. Black Widow, great. Again, like, she's given, I don't know, she's given more to do in Endgame than Infinity War, because in Infinity War she was just kind of there. Just a lot of action, which was fine. Mark Ruffalo, Hulk, I know you weren't a huge fan of what they did with him. I thought it was hysterical, and I thought it actually worked, considering in Infinity War Hulk didn't want to come out at all, and then he basically, you see that he combined the two. I liked it. It just, but I understand why it rubbed some people the wrong way.
Yeah, because I don't really think the Hulk's supposed to be a personality. He's a power that basically Bruce Banner's supposed to control.
Yeah, there was some weird, and the fact that we see the aftermath like 5 years after that, and it's just like, oh, this is a thing now. I can understand how it kind of surprised people, and it was like, Same thing with Thor. I thought it was great showing him like 5 years later what happened to him after Thanos' snap, and then he couldn't save the universe and reverse his mistake, go for the head.
Yeah.
But he did go for the head now.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. But Thor again was really good. Definitely redeemed himself. Chris Hemsworth can still do the really emotional moments and the really funny moments.
Oh yeah.
He balances the two so well. I'm glad they're moving forward with Thor 4, Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Super excited for that because Ragnarok's my favorite Thor movie. So good. And the fact that he might also be in the third Guardians of the Galaxy. His chemistry with the Guardians, especially Star-Lord in Infinity War and Endgame,
Yeah.
awesome.
Definitely.
So good. And I didn't think they would work so well together, but their banter is just so funny. I hope we get him in Guardians 3.
Definitely.
Okay. Right, moving on. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye wasn't in Infinity War.
Nope.
He's given a lot to do in Endgame. I think he's great. He definitely became... I think his best performance is in Endgame, actually.
Yeah.
I really do. The scene with him and Black Widow on Vormir before she sacrifices herself, or before they try to sacrifice each other, it's a little weird how they try to they fight each other because it's like, no, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. No, I'm gonna sacrifice myself.
Yeah.
Regardless, great character. Okoye, played by oh god, what's her name? You remember her? It's the from Black Panther, the
Think so,
badass
yeah.
chick. What's her name?
You mean the bald one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember her name?
Nope.
Denai Guerrera. So she's on the main poster, but she's really not in the movie much.
Yeah.
She's in like the first half, like there's a little scene with her as a hologram, and then she's in the final battle, and that was it. I feel like putting her on on the poster was a little kind of not doing her justice, because it's like she's not in that movie much.
Nah.
Another person who's not in the movie much is Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Which
Who-
personally I was okay with.
No, I know, and so was I. So, okay, so we both didn't enjoy Captain Marvel that much. We thought it was middle of the road best, pretty poor.
I ranked it at
otherwise.
the bottom.
It's in my like top 5 bottom MCU movies. Like it's not a, I don't want to say it's a straight up bad movies because there's good redeeming qualities, but it just, I was expecting so much more after Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that. And I think two directors having worked on indie dramas and then going to a big superhero movie, I just don't think it translated.
Yeah.
And again, we had a female director and a male director directing Captain Marvel. I just don't know if the combination really worked for me.
I mean, I could have cared less who directed it.
Yeah, I mean, Samuel L. Jackson was good in that, but like Brie Larson, she was good, but
She just does not play a good superhero.
no, she kind of is one note.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that. Now, I will say she is better in Endgame. I don't love her new haircut. I liked her haircut in her own movie. But that, whatever, I can get past that. But what she does at the beginning and how she helps them find Thanos, great, good. She saved Tony, awesome. Yeah. And then she comes in at the end and she friggin' destroys Thanos' ship.
Yeah.
And for a character that I wasn't even that like invested in or whatever, that was great.
Yeah.
And when he tries to headbutt her when she has the gauntlet and she doesn't even flinch.
Yeah.
So great. Anyway, getting off of Captain Marvel, she was good in this movie, and the Russos utilized her perfectly, considering that her own movie they didn't utilize her as well. It was just underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be so good, I really did. And I think you going into it before you knew how it was going to be, I think you wanted it to be good too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That wasn't up to standard with the other MCU movies. I mean, Captain Marvel was supposed to be the movie that basically kind of introduced us to a new character after Infinity War, and Spider-Man: Far From Home was the movie that followed Endgame, and it's so much better.
Oh yeah.
So much better. So, anyways, I'm just splitting hairs here, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, I'm trying to think what else we got. Oh, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man also was not in Infinity War and was sorely missed.
Nope.
I love the two Ant-Man movies. I really do.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. How'd you feel about him in Endgame? Because I really enjoyed him.
I mean, I liked him.
I mean, he did the emotional scenes really well. He did the humor really well, as he always has. He's a key factor to the time heist happening.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. Can't wait to see more of him. I hope we get an Ant-Man 3 at some point. Don't know if it'll happen. But as of right now, he's still Ant-Man, and he was so good in Endgame. Anyways, I'm trying to refresh my memory and look at everybody we haven't covered. Real quick, Nebula, Karen Gillan is Nebula.
Nebula, I love her.
She's great in this movie. Like, great in Infinity War, wasn't in as much. She's like front and center in this. She's so good. She surprised the hell out of me.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is the best performance you've given to this character. Wow. So, absolutely good on that. I don't want to get into all the characters that are brought back at the end because we talked about them in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Let's just say they're all in the end finale and they all do their thing and they're great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say that. Yeah, so, and then you've got Rocket. Rocket is actually the only Guardian besides Nebula who's in front and center in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was really glad that it was Rocket and not, like, anybody else. Like, I missed Groot and obviously Star-Lord, and the way they brought Gamora back was interesting.
Yeah.
Did you honestly think they were going to do that? Did you think they were going to keep
No,
her dead?
I thought they were just gonna keep her dead.
I was really pissed in Infinity War when they killed her. I was like, oh, no, you can't do Guardians 3 without her. Let's... So when they brought her back, but now it's like she's the past version of herself. She doesn't know Quill. I'm like, okay, that's actually really interesting. And her scene where when she first meets him for the first time, but he's meeting her again.
Yeah.